The September meeting of the Bismarck Parking Authority. It's September 14th, 2023. The appointed time and place. I see that we have a quorum present, so we'll call the meeting to order. First item of business would be to consider the minutes of the August 10th meeting. Anyone have any comments, questions, changes, corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thanks. On to the financials. Jeremy, you want to lead us through?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Parking Authority board members. Just a couple items to point out. We had some larger expense items in repairs and maintenance from the month of August that included our HVAC preventive maintenance contract for the parkade, and then there was some services that they had to do to gear up here for the upcoming winter, and so that was $5,225. And then 6th Street ramp, we did do restriping of the parking spaces and directional arrows and fresh paint on the curbs, and so that was $8,800, and at the 6th Street ramp. So those were paid for in August. And then the capital improvements, that was the for the Walker Services invoice that was approved from last month's pay request. And our reserve account is $1,560,869.
Okay, thank you for that. Questions of management, anybody? Questions on the financials? It's going to be easy, apparently. Any questions on the financials? Is there a motion to approve the financials?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second of the motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please. Sue?
Josh?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes, that motion carries. Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda would be a progress update for the parkade repairs project. Jeremy?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and authority board members. The project is about 95% complete. There's just still some traffic coding that has to be done for the top level where they did the tendon repairs. They're waiting on that because there's a CW Structural is going to be doing a punch list on Monday to do the inspection and sign off if everything is good to go on that, and then those other items will be completed. As a separate project, that stairwell that we had scheduled a couple months ago. The stair risers did come in, and they're doing the install today, actually, so that will be completed soon as well.
Any questions on the project? So it's on budget, on time, everything?
Correct. Yep, no change orders, which is
Okay,
good.
that's a good thing.
Yep.
All right. Move on to item 4, which is consider options for payment of special assessments on last year's city street projects that we get assessed a portion of. I think in your packet you have a copy of an email from Susan Ronning, an accountant with the city, regarding what our assessments are. There's a couple pages there. Have you had a chance to look at them? We're looking at some pretty serious assessments for the 515 East Broadway in the amount of $61,354.61. 204 North 6th Street for $47,812.97, and 424 East Thayer Avenue, $13,822.42. So altogether about $110,000.
All right, Mr. Chairman, if my math is
120,000.
correct, $122,990. And the city is just asking if the parking authority would want to pay that off in full or prefer to do installments at, I think it was the 5 to 6% interest, roughly.
Yeah, that was what Ms. Ronning indicated, 5 to 6%, but that's a guess because they haven't bonded anything lately, apparently. Do you know when the bonding goes out, Daniel, for these projects? Or Janelle?
Yeah, after they find out who is going to assess it.
Who's
And
going to?
The process is that so we have to, Chair and members of the Parking Authority, we have to issue a bond sale for however much is not paid off in advance. So that amount's then sent out to the investors. We have a very good rating at the city, so we do get very competitive rates on our bonds, but it's a bond market. Whatever the market's doing at that point, we have no idea what rates will be whenever it's called. So
Okay.
whatever your deadline is for paying it, it would probably be sometime after that is when the bond issuance would happen.
Makes sense, because you won't know until who's going to prepay or who's going to have it assessed. Discussion? Anybody have any thoughts, any preferences? Good morning, Commissioner. Kyle?
Just wonder if, is there any historical preference that's been done before?
Or
Has this been
precedence, or-
Precedence?
We've never had it.
There hasn't been specials downtown for.
A long time,
Yeah.
long time. So, I mean, on the one hand, we have the cash on hand to pay it if we want to. On the other hand, to preserve cash flow, manage money if we want to pay it off over 7 years, 10 years, excuse me.
And we're not exactly sure what we're actually gaining on our cash reserves.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, Jeremy, do you have thoughts on this, or preference?
So I think our direction from the finance department, when we were asking about our reserves, how much we're getting average, I think right now is like 4.5%, which, I mean, that's fluctuating as well. So it's almost a break even if we were to pay this in installments. But like, and we do, I mean, we have the cash at this point, it'd be probably maybe okay to just pay it off and then be done with it.
What kind of capital projects are we staring at here in the next year that might kind of compete with that cash?
Jeremy, you want to
Yep.
address the
Nope,
question?
Great question. As far as recommended repairs, again, mostly just related to the parkade ramp. And that would be if and we're still collecting some budget numbers on this, but if the board would want to do traffic coding on the additional levels for long-term preventive maintenance to the ramp. But if we were to do all levels, engineers' estimate at this point in time was $750,000.
So it's probably not going to happen all in one fell swoop. Other capital items that you can think of, Jeremy?
No other major items. I'm still, I guess it's on the agenda here today too, to talk about the barcode scanner options. I haven't gotten full numbers yet from Mono McGann, but I don't foresee that would be a large ticket item as far as like over 100,000 or anything like that.
Any surprise items that you don't know about yet?
Until it becomes a surprise, not that I know of.
Yeah, there always seems to be, doesn't there? One question I have, back to the financials. So you list the reserve account at $1,560,000. What's cash on hand in addition to that? Normally you have that on there.
It's the bottom line. 397. 397
There's 397 cash in addition to the $1,500,000.
into the 1,000,005, yes.
Okay, that didn't make the copy on mine, so. So we obviously have sufficient cash on hand. If we want, on the other hand, if we're earning 4.5% to 5% on our reserve account, and we're gonna pay 6% or 6.5%, I mean, your spread is about 100 basis points or 150 if we wanna borrow. It's like a very low-interest loan if we decide to have it assessed, so. Any further thoughts or wishes?
Chairman, I'll just say it would be, I guess, my preference to pay it off while we have the cash on hand. That's just how I operate my own personal finances, so if that is worth anything, so that's just my thought.
Other thoughts or a motion?
Sure, I'll make that motion, yeah.
So it's been moved that we pay the full balance. And is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Any further discussion? Commissioner, do you have any thoughts on this? I know you're not voting on it, but if there's no further discussion, call the roll, please, Sue.
Josh?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes, that motion carries. Thanks. That much less for us to borrow. Now we'll move on to item 5, which is an update for the pay-by-app equipment quote. We had asked management to look into the possibility of entering the new century and being able to pay by phone as you enter or leave the ramps. And Jeremy has been doing some work on that. What'd you find out?
Yep, Mr. Chairman, I'm still, Mono McGann has not gotten me the full figures yet. We're still working out some details on that, so I didn't want to lose track of it as far as it being on the agenda, but more information to come hopefully next meeting.
So not even a rough idea or anything?
No, not at this
Okay.
point.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments or suggestions on that one? Until it comes back to the table. We'll move on to other business, item 6. We have a pay request from Vector for the work that's ongoing in the parkade. Jeremy, how much is that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we did get billed from Vector for 90% completion of the project, the parkade project, for $223,037.06. This is contingent upon the walkthrough punch list on, like I was saying, scheduled Monday. If CW signs off on that everything is repaired correctly, then if you approve to pay the bill, we would wait till after that inspection.
What are your wishes? Again, we don't have a lot of choice. We have cash on hand to do it, so.
I'll make a motion to approve that payment.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please, Sue.
Josh?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes, that motion carries. Item B under other business is an update on the Parking Authority Management RFQ.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Sorry if I may interrupt. Sorry, I
No,
have
that's fine.
one other, this one came in actually just last minute, CW Structural. Another their pay request for 15% of their construction administration, which was part of the contract for $5,805.
5,805. Okay. What are your wishes? Motion would be to approve the payment.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment.
Is there a second? 2 seconds, okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please, Sue.
Josh?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes, that motion carries. Now an update on the Parkade Authority Management RFQ. Daniel?
Okay, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Parking Authority. So as a reminder, the contract for Parking Authority Management is up at the end of this year. There are some proposals that have been submitted. The selection committee is reviewing those right now, and I think the goal is to, by the October meeting, to have a recommendation to this authority for your decision.
Correct. In fact, the selection committee is going to meet after this meeting. So,
Yep.
any questions, anyone, or on that item? Other business, I have one item I'd like to bring. Does anybody have any other business today, otherwise? I was approached by someone who gets around in a wheelchair on their own, drives and all of that, but was asked about the door pressures in the elevator lobbies in the parkade. You know, the doors, when you park your car and then you go into the elevator lobby, those doors are apparently, I don't know what the pressure is, and ADA is what, 1 pound or 3 pounds or whatever ADA requires, but is that something that we've had other comments on at management level about how difficult those doors are to operate if you're in a wheelchair?
Mr. Chairman, Authority Board members, not that I'm aware of, but from time to time, those door closures, they can get sticky, and we can certainly check that and make sure that those pounds of pressure are adequate.
Do those doors have push-button closers on them? You know, the ADA closers, automatic, in other words?
Only on yellow level.
Just on one level? Yeah. Have you heard any comments from anybody, you guys?
No one ever stating that they were too hard to open or close, no.
Okay. Anybody have an idea what those automatic closers cost? Opener closers, the ADA ones? Jake, have you done them lately in a building or anything? It's been, last time I looked, it's a long time ago, they're like $1,100, so it's probably 2 or 3 times that, but. Well, can you check into that at least and see if we're meeting ADA? Or if the closers just need to be serviced, if they're sticky or something like that. So, this is a person who uses the ramp frequently. So, I said I would check into it. And if you want to, how many levels would we need to put automatic openers on? Then if we have yellow, we got 4 more?
5 more.
5 more, 6 total doors, elevator lobby doors? 6, so. Maybe Jeremy, you could check into a cost to do that,
Yep.
if we wanted to go down that path. Okay, that's all I had for other business. Anybody else? Short and sweet today, again? Okay,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Jeremy.
Just a couple tidbit items to let you know of. So MDU is still working on the landscaping on the east end of the Galleria ramp on the 7th Street Boulevard. So that is in progress. They are tentatively expecting to have that done in the month of October. So that's, I mean, good news that it's still being handled. And then also, we did the short-term lease on Red Wing. They're up at the end of this month. I'm still trying to get a hold of their store owner to see what their plans are. So more to come on that. And then good news is that Sanford has an extension option built into their lease for the end of this year, and they are choosing to exercise that 5-year option.
They'll renew for 5 years.
Correct, yes.
That is good news. Okay, good. Any other updates from management or other business?
That is it. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Anyone in the audience? Oh, wait, there's only 2 people in the audience. Both of them have been to the podium already. If there's no objection, we stand adjourned until October 12th. Thanks, everybody.